I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, I'm Pat Reber.
And I'm Matt Aucamp.
And say it with us, Daniel.
Welcome
to Mutant
Menace.
Shit, that one came early. That one came much earlier than I expected.
Well, you got to be ready for these things. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and Pete's not going to wait for anybody. Neither is Daniel.
All right, see you, Pete. Welcome, folks, to Mutant Menace. Like Pete just said, Matt.
Yeah.
Today, we're covering the X-Men, but
oh wow, okay,
not in their main X-Men title. We are.
How could that be?
To yet another mini-series from Marvel in the mid-'80s, another mid-'80s Marvel mini-series.
Mid-'80s Marvel mini? Marvelous!
The X-Men and the Micronauts.
The X-Men and the Micronauts in the mid-'80s Marvel mini.
The Marvel mid-'80s Micronauts miniseries, The X-Men and the Micronauts.
How did you feel about it?
It's not good.
No, it's very, very bad. All right. I think we have to, unfortunately, we have to start off with like trigger warnings. If you guys are sensitive to talk of sexual assault or psychological sexual abuse and grooming, I think those are probably the two things the two triggers we probably have to warn people about.
Yeah. There's going to be a moment in issue 4 here at the beginning of issue 4 that is extremely unpleasant and potentially triggering content. So
yeah,
just understand, we'll mention it again as it comes up, so you don't have to try to figure it out right now. But
yeah,
throwing that out there. Jesus
Christ, man, this series is it's written by Bill Mantlo and Chris Claremont together.
And I'll tell you, my hope for it was that Chris Claremont would rub off on Bill Mantlo maybe in some good ways here, but I think Bill Mantlo's worst tendencies brought out some of Chris Claremont's worst tendencies.
Yeah, some of Chris Claremont's worst tendencies, which unfortunately are kind of similar. How did this thing even fucking happen, man?
It's a disaster. And I think the arc that will follow here will we'll watch it progressively turn more and more into a disaster as we go.
Right.
This is Bill Mantlo's baby. Apparently, he was struck by the Micronauts toys that his child asked for Christmas in 1977, and just started writing his own headcanon about it.
And he was like, these rule. Okay, and if you've looked at the Micronauts toys, they're so different than what the Micronauts in the comic book are like.
Yeah.
The Micronauts toys are some of the dumbest toys I've ever seen. They're mostly just like men with a bunch of different like fragmented men where every different piece of them is a different color. And so that's how you know they're robots.
Oh, right. And I don't think it was uncommon in like the 70s and 80s to have a toy line whose like existence, just the way their characters were made, implied some sort of backstory, and then you could build a cartoon off of that, or you could build a comic book off of that.
Right, but I think the Micronauts kind of don't. Like, when you read the Micronauts comics, you're like, okay, there's a rich, whether it's interesting or not, there is a rich lore here. But when you look at the toys, you're like, these are the most basic shits that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like there is no amount of imagination, I think, that could have made the Micronauts interesting. And,
Well,
it didn't.
little baby Mantlo disagreed, Matt. He asked for them for Christmas. Bill Mantlo, upon seeing them, started writing his own headcanon about them.
Yeah.
He asked Jack Shithead to buy the licensing rights from the Mego
Oh my God,
corporation
he
that
asked.
made them. Yeah, he went to him. And of course, this was during the shithead reign of corporate synergy. So it fit right in. He went to the Mego Corporation and bought the rights to these toys. The
Holy
licensing
cow.
rights.
Okay.
The comic it debuted in 1979 and ran all the way until 1986, despite the toys production stopping in 1980. They are largely considered just like a footnote in Marvel Comics history, despite in its time selling pretty well. It was like X-Men. Right below them was Micronauts. It was outselling Captain America at the time.
And as we'll talk about when we get to like explaining some of the characters in context, some of these characters crossed the boundary and became Marvel characters, like entered the Marvel Comics universe for good, which is interesting.
Yes, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few... There's a way I kind of want to approach this. It's what I'm calling soft canon. I think it's not my original term. It's one that I read as I was doing this research, but
okay.
The series ends in 1986, right? It runs from 1980 to 84, and then they reboot the series at some point in 85 and have a second series run all the way to 86. Immediately after that 1986 series ends, the license for those toys lapsed. So Marvel no longer owned the rights to the Micronauts. They can not have any further appearances of the characters that are based on the toys.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started appearing in other comic lines. They first got bought up by Image in, I think it was the aughts. Marvel tried to repurchase them for a reboot in 97 and they were denied. And then in like 2002, Image picked up the rights, produced a Micronauts comic. Devil's Due a few years later picked them up, ran a Micronauts comic. IDW in like 2015 picked them. I think it was just a couple of years ago. Marvel finally got the rights back so that they could print the omnibus.
But they had to use. They could only use the characters based on the toys. Like the shit that Bill Mantlo invented, like Bug, they could not use.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was entirely based on the toys, and each iteration had to kind of restart the history.
And all of them were, I'm guessing, complete failures. Am I right?
Yeah, nothing sold as well as the original comic line. In the Marvel Comics line, in that 7-year run, there were plenty of encounters with other Marvel characters. They took place in the Microverse, which is where these little freaks live, as well as the Macroverse, which is what they call the world that we exist in. But all the actual drama of the Micronauts was largely contained within the Microverse. So, because for decades they couldn't even refer to the Micronauts, and because nothing that they did really impacted our universe, our dimension, or however you want to consider it.
Yeah.
It's canon, but not in a way that we could legally tell you about.
Okay.
Just a little tack on history. In addition to the several comics lines, there was a cartoon show in 1998. There was a fully produced but unreleased 52-episode cartoon show completed in 2020, but never released.
Really? 52 episodes completed and none of it released.
Correct.
Has it leaked?
I don't know.
Wild. Okay.
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Let us know if you've seen it. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And then Hasbro and Paramount were threatening to produce a Micronauts film from 2009 all the way until 2020. Sounds like something happened in 2020 where These studios just started reconsidering their pending projects.
Maybe like a guy got like
Shot.
really, really anxious or something. I can't think of anything else that would have happened around then.
But I think that's all the history worth mentioning.
Well, I'll say this.
Yeah.
So by the time that they started, like you said, Marvel got the rights back. I believe Hasbro owned the Micronauts now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And Hasbro allowed Marvel to reprint the entire Micronauts series except for this miniseries.
Yes.
And we will I'm sure me and Pat, having just read it, understand why, and 100%. We can explain it to you when we get into it.
Yeah. But for that reason, I'm going to say, as we move on from this, the terrible things that happen in this comic, we're confronting, right? We're not avoiding them. But as far as our X-Men storytelling goes, I don't think this ever really happened.
Well, I hope not, because it's not like the things that occur in this are things that the characters still bring up to this day. Like, hey, remember when you did this horrible thing to me?
Right.
Exactly. And I mean, at the end of the series, you'll listeners, you'll find out they basically just hand wave it all away, and they're like, well, bad things happen sometimes anyway.
And this isn't just, I know we issued a content warning. This isn't just about the content warning stuff. They do a lot of just bad people things in this in this miniseries here. This was a mistake.
And that's how you felt about it. Well, so the two things I feel about reading it: number one, problematic. Number two, so many words, Pat.
Yeah, we have our two wordiest authors teaming up.
And Bill Mantlo, old Bill Mantlo, did not shrug off the rumors of absolutely hating people with disabilities.
Yeah. And women.
Oh my God.
It's a rough one.
Whew.
Oh, but before we dig any deeper, Matt.
Saved by the piano player.
Let's get into Pat's email corner. I am thrilled to say that we are once again blessed with an overflowing inbox.
Okay, well, let's try to keep it less than a half hour this time.
We'll see what happens. Let's start with our favorite new emailer, Sweet Douglas.
Hey, Sweet Douglas.
Sweet Douglas is finally caught up per the subject line of his email. He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that I'm finally able to read along with you guys as I've finished reading the entire Age of Krakoa arc. Cramming 5 or so years of comics into less than a year of time has been enriching. Lots of great stories and philosophical discussions, but also some real stinkers in there and terrible artwork now and then.
And if you, listener at home, want to keep up, read along with us, you can join our Patreon actually for free and see our reading list.
Oh, that's exactly what Sweet Douglas mentions here. He says he joined the Patreon so he can read these classics along with us, though unfortunately no ads in my digital copies. That continues to be a Mutant Menace exclusive, thanks to my formerly vast fortune spent on collecting original prints of every X-Men comic. Comics seem to hit differently when you're not a child being constantly bombarded with ads for scam products and candy. He says, remember Brock's Rocks? Never had them in my corner of the world, and I imagine they were mediocre at best, but I sure as hell wanted them as a kid. I think they would be the only thing in this email that I would eat. Sincerely, Sweet Douglas.
Thanks,
I do remember Brock's Rocks, and you are correct. They were mediocre at best.
I don't remember eating Brock's Rocks.
It was just like, it was basically a sweet tart, but in like a pebble shape.
I remember.
If I recall correctly.
I remember seeing Brock's Rocks. And I remember this cool dino mascot, but Mostly I ate Brock's jelly beans.
I ate broccoli and
No, you
grew up
did-
to be a healthy young boy.
No, come on.
Up next, Matt, we've got it. Oh, wait, actually, before we move on, Sweet Douglas says my little corner of the world, a place where he couldn't get Brock's rocks, and I do not remember where he's writing from. So I wonder.
If it's hell?
No, not Sweet Douglas.
I don't know. It seems like many of our listeners are writing from hell.
At least one that we know of. Okay, let's keep moving. Weapon Jason has some thoughts about episode 48. He says, hey, Pat,
Weapon
tell
Jason.
Matt some quick notes to help you get through the mailbag. While Sal Buscema is not my favorite artist, I will point out that for some of this New Mutants run, it is Tom Mandrake doing the finishing, so the subpar elements are on him, I think.
All right. Yeah, okay.
He says, yes, my hatred of inkers returns because Mandrake's pen work has never appealed to me.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll give you this one because
the art, this Buscema art is not very good,
not up to his usual.
and it's done. We've moved on to a new Mutants artist. So
that's right. He also says the sudden quality jump when Sienkiewicz comes in number 18, which we will get to shortly, not today, but shortly, is notable and amazing as a result.
I can't wait.
He asks, are we going to cover the Firestar miniseries?
Yes.
Of course. A few other thoughts on characters. Empath is the worst, the absolute worst. Doug Ramsey, though, was just great, in my opinion.
The original Sweet Douglas.
So... but he does go on to say, I've always suspected that a bit of his character was informed from Matthew Broderick's character in War Games, which was released the year before. So,
okay.
Finally, he says, love the corner box gag on the cover of New Mutants number 17 with the rest of the team scrunched in there. Weapon Jason.
Thanks, Weapon Jason.
Abe 6. Remember,
Abe 6 is back.
Abe 6 is back, answering my question from episode 47. He says, I have played a total of 540 hours of Stardew Valley, all of those with my wife. So we were like, 540, is that? So he's clarifying, we play back-to-back on our PCs. It's a very narrow room. She has played a total of 1,900 hours. Farming Sim is one of her primary gaming genres. So
that might be more than me.
Yeah. They've between them, they have the credentials. That's for sure.
Not much more than me, I'll say, but I think it is more than me.
Abe 6 reassures me, saying, as for our marriage, it's strong. In fact, we're a couple weeks away from hitting 6 years. Technically not an anniversary because we got hitched on Leap Day. So congrats, but also that's your own fault. You chose that way.
Congrats, but yeah, you're kind of cheating.
So this would be, you're still just celebrating one anniversary, I guess? Over 6 years? I guess you
they just celebrate the same anniversary every year.
It must be 2, right? If they're coming up on 6 and it's 2026, that means 2020 is when they got married. 2024 would have been their first actual anniversary date.
Right.
So yeah, 1. Congrats on continuing to have 1 year of marriage.
Marital bliss.
Couples who game together stay together. We have nearly 1,000 hours together in Borderlands 2.
I've been part of a couple who game together and I got dumped. So I don't necessarily think just because this rhymes that it means it makes it true.
It also doesn't actually rhyme. So it's inconclusive, we'll say. Up next, Matt, another, our other favorite new emailer, Tim Pilk.
Tim Pilk! He's here!
Pilk is back. He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt I concede defeat on the feeling blood debate. I still think they're talking about a racing pulse, but I don't have enough knowledge of physiology to argue arterial versus venous to attempt to argue the point. Don't let your breath out yet, Matt, because another emailer has gone into more detail here. So,
well, I mean, I'll wear them down just like I wore Tim Pilk down.
Discussion is not over. Tim goes on. He says, apologies for the lack of video of the Pilk, but I refuse to try it again for the sake of footage. Understandable. You're still Tim Pilk, though.
Hey, Pat. Here's the thing that I'm springing on you. Listeners, I decided this. If you guys can get us up to $100 in Patreon subscribers,
hot damn,
even for one full month, even just for one full month, me and Pat will drink Pilk live on camera.
Right. We are at about 1/4 of that right now.
Yep.
So just to give you an idea of where it stands.
So you guys have a lot of work to do, but we will drink Pilk. And if on that third month it goes back down to 25 or whatever, that's fine. But it has to stay there for at least a renewal period, and we will drink Pilk on camera.
We will. Okay, Tim Pilk goes on. The Kitty Ileana Sapphic relationship is definitely not something I picked up on. Yeah. I'll admit I don't do in-depth readings, preferring to stick to a casual surface-level interpretation, but that idea sounds more like fans forcing a love triangle with siblings.
It's interesting because Chris Claremont has said it, but I almost wonder if he's agreeing to it retroactively. Like, yeah, that was there.
Yeah, that would have been cool if I did that.
yeah, I did that, and everyone knows I did that.
Excuse me. Moving on, will you be covering the X-Men manga when you get that far? It's technically not canon since it is basically a greatest hits of the animated series, but I would be interested to hear your thoughts on another country's take on the crew. Tim Pilk?
My instinct is no, but we have so long until we get there. Yeah, I think we don't cover. We'll discuss it more then, but my thought is no. My thought is no, we don't cover that stuff.
Okay. There's your very clear answer. Thank you, Tim Pilk. We're going to bounce back to Sweet Douglas. Sweet Douglas, after catching up, was motivated to send us a second email. He says, tell Matt that if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it feel its blood flowing through its veins? I guess it depends on how you define feeling it. Do you mean that because we don't have nerve endings in our blood vessels for feeling blood rushing by, we can't feel it? We can't feel it?
Yes! That's a perfect way to put it! Yes, of course!
I read this as contentious. You're reading it as...
No, that's a perfect way to put it. We can't...
agreement.
Literally, we can't feel the blood.
He understands what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, if you do feel that way, then ignore the rest.
Okay.
I don't. So Matt, earmuffs. As others are saying, we can feel our pulse even without having to touch the area with our hands. People like me sometimes can feel our pulse.
Yeah, me too.
We can feel it. We can feel it because nearby nerves are being affected by the expansion and contraction of vessels.
Yes.
Also, there aren't any actual muscles in the walls of the vessels to cause the motion. It's the heart pushing it all through like ripples in waters. It's not just in the arteries, which was our pulse argument. You can observe a pulse in your veins, especially major ones like the jugular. It's just notably weaker than the arteries. So your jugular is a vein, and I can feel my pulse in my jugular, even without, I'm putting my finger to it now to feel it, but even without putting my finger to it.
He put his finger there, so like now, like it's a sort of thing where like he jump started his ability to feel it, so I don't trust it.
Okay, I think this is pretty. This is pretty sound. Thank you, Sweet Douglas.
I think it's smart. I think the people that are writing in about all this are like they're making some good points. They're being very smart. It's just a shame that they're all wrong, but that doesn't mean that it's not smart analysis.
I think Sweet Douglas just. Well, here, let's go here. My credentials are being a hypochondriac autistic and biology being my favorite subject in school.
That's great. That's awesome.
Sweet Douglas wraps up. He says, also, I not only condone, but encourage people using Sweet Douglas as an exclamation. Love, Sweet Douglas.
Sweet Douglas.
Thank you, Sweet Douglas. Up next,
Oh, man.
we're going to the Ink Master. Talking about episode 47, Ink Master says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt that you two arguing over the minutia of how time works in Limbo is the most quintessentially comic book nerd moment of the entire podcast so far."
Oops.
Absolutely right.
Whoops. Look, if we said sorry, would that matter to you guys?
There's no apologies for that. That's an important point that I made. I think we talked. I'm pretty sure you cut. Well, you edited it so that it fit in a much smaller space, but I'm pretty sure
I didn't.
You also
I wasn't
cut some chunks out of it.
I was not able to cut it like halfway through or anything. It was like I cut out chunks of it and I had to speed it up.
I got really mad about it. No, you're not understanding. Oh, all right. We got another email, Matt, to deal with. In fact, a few. But this next one is coming from a brand new emailer, Vio.
Hey, Vio.
Vio or Vio, I'm not sure. And if you could please let us know, we'll get it right in the future. But for now, we actually have 2 emails from Vio saying, titled "Email from Mutant Menace Folks." Vio says, "Dear Mutant Menace people, longtime listener and Patreon supporter, first-time emailer." Wow.
All right. Well, then I can't get too mad at you, Vio, for not following our formatting rules.
This is apparently not knowing our names. First, I wanted to say as a trans listener, it is very much appreciated how kind you two are in a world that feels like a God loves man kills for our demographic. Only after getting shot, Reverend Stryker runs a successful GoFundMe or becomes a government official in real life. He was only engaging in mutant debate after all. Your voices are very much valued.
That's so fucking funny.
Very good.
And sad. Look, I'm sorry but it'll pass. The world always lands in a more tolerant place. It very rarely goes backwards for very long.
Yeah.
That's just the arc of history.
Is the phrase that has me going these days. We will win.
Yes. Yeah. But
they've also
got time. We are on your side. We have your back as best as 2 strangers on the internet can.
That's right. Vio goes on with some compliments for us. They are very kind. I'm not going to read them on air, but they are excited to hear us tackle Secret Wars and help interpret that, because sometimes this era of Marvel books just gets strange.
My God, I don't know how good we're gonna do at. I think largely our coverage of Secret Wars is going to be us being like, Jesus Christ, come on, what the like, as confused as you are reading Secret Wars is the way we'll be expressing our feelings for Secret Wars.
Yeah, we're gonna confirm that actually it's smart to be confused by this.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah.
Vio also sent us a second email listening to the newest episode, guiding us to where we can find Kazar comics online. They say, use an ad blocker. I will let you know that it's, folks, you are welcome to send us links for illegal sources for comic books. That is absolutely fine.
So we can report them to the FBI.
Up next, Inkmaster also wrote us a second email. This is going to be a pattern here, Matt.
Goodness.
But Ink says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt that while I agree that having an active magma chamber close to the peak of a volcano is unrealistic, that was not one of the objections he voiced in the episode. The objections he gave were that the mountain had caves, that there were active lava flows further down after Sunspot blew a hole in the floor, and that they went into a mountain, not a volcano. Since that's what was said on mic, those were what I addressed. As for my credentials on this particular subject, I took a dual credit course my senior year in high school called Space and Natural Disasters, and we did a unit on volcanoes. And yes, that class was just as cool as it sounds.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I don't know. Okay. You know what? We have to call a moratorium on
this particular subject and none of the others.
No,
Let's
this subject and the blood subject.
Ink.
And
hang on. No, don't say the next part. Ink says, I will not be enjoying my Pilk, as I specifically said in my email that while I enjoy Pepsi and milk individually, the idea of combining the two disgusts me. All this talk of Pilk does remind me, though, that there is a local pizza place near me with a Pepsi ad on their soda fridge suggesting that people mix Pepsi with buffalo sauce.
Yuck!
And I struggle to imagine what that could possibly taste like. Part of me kind of wants to try it out of morbid curiosity, but that can't possibly be good, right?
Trying things out of morbid curiosity actually is good. And
yeah. We ran a comedy show for years on trying things out of morbid curiosity.
If me and Pat get our Patreon up to $150 per month, we'll try Pepsi with buffalo sauce in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just for 1 month.
Our Zencaster bill just came in. I'm really trying to push this Patreon.
It renews on a yearly basis. Let's keep moving. We have another. This is not a new emailer, Matt. This is someone that emailed us way back. And I was actually a little concerned about. So I'm glad we heard back from Sam. Listener Sam, calling themselves potentially X-Men Sam.
X-Man Sam.
Sam says, greetings, Pat and Matt. This is X-Man Sam, the very same emailer who wrote in to discuss my mutant power of flatulence odor immunity. I am disappointed that you both shut down my ability with disgust and disbelief. How very anti-mutant and menacing of you.
Remind everybody what you said about X-Man Sam's...
that this wasn't a mutant power. It was a lack of a sense, and that maybe Sam should see a doctor. So, Sam says, I am writing in because I have a confession. I would sadly not make the X-Men team because I am Canadian and there is only enough room for one Canuck on the team. Besides, my epic ability and nationality would only qualify me for the likes of Alpha Flight anyway.
There's probably somebody in Gamma Flight who cannot smell farts.
Yeah, that's fair. I am looking forward to more coverage of my Canadian brethren and the hockey puck man Puck as they cross paths with the X-Men in future episodes.
God, I love Puck.
P.S. We can all feel our blood up here in Canada. You have to know what to look or feel for to detect it. It basically feels like being an inside-out jacuzzi. It worries me that you cannot feel this, Matt. Love the podcast, guys.
I'm not Canadian. Sorry.
Oh, boy. All right, let's keep moving. We have the ever-present email Michael. We're almost done, I swear to God. Email Michael wrote in, he says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that Marshawn Terrell Lynch would be a great Beast and is an inspired casting choice.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about Jack Black as Beast. However, I do think he would make a fantastic Gambit, even today, because of his unparalleled charisma and screen presence.
We can't just keep moving Jack Black around the cast.
I like him as Gambit, though. Pitch me Jack Black as anybody. I love it.
Black is going to be every... Well, okay, what about... So we'll have X-Men...
Jack Black's the clumps.
We'll have X-Men, we'll have XXL Men, and then we'll have Jack Black's Men, and every character will be Jack Black.
Oh, boy. I also want to wish Matt a speedy recovery after his throat fell off and was reattached with nails, apparently. Even someone with dust in their veins would have trouble recovering from a surgery like that. Not that I would know. Haha. Not a ninja. Email Michael.
Again, email Michael.
All right. Mysterious stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better. My nails fell out and my throat's just attached now.
Yeah, it healed naturally.
Yeah.
Final email, Matt. This is from... You may remember Magic the Dog.
Okay.
This is a simple one. She says, good evening, Pat. Please show Matt my contribution to the Pilk discussion. And then we get some beautiful
all right
fan art.
Yeah, it's Patsy and Mount.
It's me looking pretty beefy, honestly.
Yeah,
And,
big buff arms on Patsy.
as a can of Pepsi, my head is popping out the top, and Matt is a gallon of milk.
How do you feel about how Patsy is a name, actually?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
As a can of Pepsi, I would be Patsy.
But so you're fine with people calling you Patsy?
How do you feel
So
about
people write in and say, "Hey, Patsy, tell Matt," you are happy with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I have my one rule is don't call me patty cake. That's the one that since childhood has really bothered me. How do you feel about the name Maltk?
I hate it. I hate pretty much everything Magic the Dog sends in.
She does incredible renderings of her faces here.
When she did that Nightcrawler that was Timothy Chalamet, that was really good. But pretty much everything else
didn't scare you.
Magic the Dog is written in, I've absolutely hated.
And look, it's not that it's bad. It's that it's horrifying.
Yes, correct.
And that's Pat's Emo Corner.
Oh, Jesus
that wasn't
Christ,
so
man.
bad.
Yeah, that was like 45 minutes.
It was not 45 minutes. Okay, well, with that done, Matt, there's only one thing left for us to do.
Recap the issues?
No. We'll get to that next. Before we do that, I just have to know, Matt, have you done anything X-Men related this week?
I'll tell you this, Pat. I slept a lot.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's some combination of
much like Professor Xavier.
Yeah, Professor Xavier in this specific miniseries. I had a slight medication change, and it made me very sleepy. And I've recovered from the sleepiness, but oh boy, was that a sleepy week. How about you, Pat? Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
I did, Matt. I just got back from a little vacation. We took a little trip up the New England coast in the midst of a blizzard, which was not intentional, but we did end up in Portland, Maine. And you know what's fun about Portland, Maine, Matt?
What's fun about Portland, Maine, Pat?
They've got some very cool toy and comic book shops. I went to a place there called Strange Maine, which is like a used record store as well as used comic books, toys, clothes. They have very reasonably priced, like kind of vintage clothing. And while there, I picked up an Avengers book. I was looking through their used comic book collection. I saw reprinted Avengers trade paperback that was written by Steve Englehart. And I said, oh, sick. Steve Englehart, we've read briefly, somebody that I enjoy the comics of. He's a real goofy old Marvel bullpen guy. Yeah. Turns out the story that I picked up is the story where Patsy Walker asks Hank McCoy to make good on the promise that they had back in the Beast miniseries
in Amazing Adventures.
All the way during the Dark Era.
Wow.
If you recall, Beast in Beast form, with nobody knowing that it's Hank McCoy, collapses on the doorstep of Patsy Walker,
who was a romance comic star from the early days of Marvel.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. As she was nursing him back to health, she discovered that he was Hank McCoy in order to keep his secret and prevent him from being persecuted.
Yeah.
He agreed to help her, and we never really learned what it was that he agreed to do.
Sure.
We know as podcasters that as omniscient
they give us this. Yeah, they give us this special. When you buy a podcast mic, they tell you this.
The agreement on Patsy Walker's side was that Hank McCoy would help turn her into a superhero. So
Sure.
I ended up picking up that story where Patsy Walker interrupts the Avengers in a very important mission to yell at Hank McCoy for dodging her. She finally found him because he became an Avenger and now demanded that that he hold up his side of the bargain.
She's right. She's right. She should have.
And that's it, Matt. That's the X-Men related thing I did
this
week. Can we finally, please,
yes,
start getting through these X-Men and Micronauts comics?
Yes, Pat, I would love to. And you know what?
Excellent.
Have you been talking enough? Or would you like to be the one to start off and read me all about X-Men and the Micronauts #1?
Yes, Matt, I'm never talking enough. So let me read to you the X-Men and the Micronauts #1 First Encounter.
Okay, love it.
Chris Claremont and Bill Mantlo writers, Butch Guici penciler, Bob Wyacek inker.
That's how you pronounce that?
That's my best crack. Michael Higgins letterer, Bob Sharon colorist, Bob Budiansky editor. The Bobs are here. We got 3 of them. We got 3 Bobs and a Butch.
Three Bobs and a Butch.
And then finally, Jim Idiot, editor-in-chief. Release date, October 4th, 1983. Cover date, January 1984.
Big Brother is watching.
Ooh, how Orwellian. Look, I have almost no idea what's happening at the beginning of this comic. Seems like a group of space warriors called the Micronauts are flying through space on their bio ship when some farming planet unexpectedly attacks them and their fleet.
All right, yeah. Who are the Micronauts?
So we have a loose collection here of...
Let's start with... They give a list here. So let's start with Acro Year. Actually, no, let's start with Huntar. Huntar is just like a gloopy monster man, right?
Yeah, so from my understanding, oh boy, there's a bad guy here who is turning people into, he calls them dog soldiers. I don't think they're actual dogs, but he is somebody who got like half transformed into a dog soldier and
he's like
instead
half
just
a
came out as
guy.
a pile of goop who is also a guy.
He is not one of the Micronauts toys. Then
Not
there
a
is
toy.
a Croyer. So it looks like Acro Year.
Acro Year.
And that sounds like a romanized, like a romantic, like
Ooh.
combination, but it's not. Apparently, it's derived from a Japanese word that means evil destroyer. Like that's
Okay.
That's like Akuroya, something like that. So you're supposed to pronounce it, and apparently they pronounced it in at least one of the cartoons, Acroyer.
A Croyer. Okay.
He was a toy. I think he was in the first group of toys. So he's like an original Micronauts toy.
Official Micronaut.
Acroyer. And he is, I don't know what he's like the former king of a warrior race, it says. And also it says he's, I don't know. This other guy keeps calling him teacher. I don't fucking know.
Sure.
Okay. Who else we got?
Let's talk about Bug.
Bug is also a toy, but only kind of. He's like,
Okay.
There is no toy that looks like Bug or is called Bug, or there is a toy that's kind of Bug-based, but has nothing to do with Bug. In the first couple issues, apparently, and this is from wikis and shit, he's called Galactic Warrior, which is one of the first toys.
Okay.
But he's not Galactic Warrior, he's Bug.
He's Bug.
And because they completely changed the design, eventually when they lose the rights to the Micronauts, they decide, they're like, oh, we could keep Bug. And then they make a Bug miniseries, and then Bug joins the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Amazing. He's just to describe him a little bit. He is green. He's got bug eyes. He wears a funny helmet. He's got a couple of antennae.
His
Other than that,
helmet and his armor is all that. Mostly he's like a guy.
Yeah, he's like a humanoid insect. And listen, Matt, you know I love a little green freak.
Yes.
I love bug. There's but at the end of that sentence.
Okay, all right. He's like a master thief or something. I don't know. Who else we have?
Fireflight.
Not a toy.
She is miniature in the Microverse. She's like a Tinkerbell size compared to the rest of the Micronauts.
Yeah.
She's like a little fairy.
She's not a toy. She wasn't a toy.
Okay. Marionette.
Not a toy.
Commander Ran.
Not a toy.
Really?
Yeah, they just made this shit
refer
up.
to him as Micronaut Commander Ran.
Yeah, no, he's not in the toy. He's not one of the toys.
Crazy. Bioship, the Bioship.
Okay, so Bioship there was a toy called Biotron. And from what I could tell from, again, reading wikis and shit, Bioship is like Biotron died and then got combined with like some other guys. So it's like Bioship is like Biotron combined with Betatron combined with someone else, right? Like it's just like a bunch.
Betatron.
It's just like a combination of a bunch of different types of guys. But Biotron looks exactly like Bioship. So, and that is a toy. Is a toy.
It's
boring. It's all boring. I forget all the details because it's boring.
So we have a Croyer, Bioship, and Bug kind of, but not really, are the original.
The only toys.
Micronauts.
And we'll eventually meet another guy who's a toy, and that's the big villain.
The big bad guy.
The big bad guy is a toy.
Of the Micronauts, not of this story.
Correct. Not the big bad of the story. The big bad of the Micronauts is a toy.
So, now that you know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
This farming planet attacks them and their fleet. Their fleet is too evenly matched with the Darnalians. So they release something called dog soldiers, which are...
It just looks like Darnell. Yeah. Hey, this is a planet. Its name is Darnell.
They released dog soldiers, which are like evil super warriors. And everyone is like, oh my God, I've never seen so much death. I guess there's some unknown threat in the Microverse coming from beyond the space wall that separates the Microverse from Earth. So
yeah, I don't know. Sure.
They've teamed up with their mortal enemy, Baron Karza, a big
Who's a toy
man in black armor. He is a toy. He looks shocking. He's a big mean man, black armor with 4 big red nipples on it.
Yeah.
He looks a whole lot like the bad guy from Buzz Lightyear.
Oh my God. Yes, he does. Emperor Zurg, except for with 4 big red nipples.
And as the Micronauts join the battle themselves, Baron Karza stays on the bioship to find the secret enemy guy. And when they do, he suddenly shows up on the battlefield. He's a guy in a suit of armor that we've seen before almost 70 issues ago.
Yeah. Pat, did you recognize the suit of armor?
Did not. In a flashback to a coffee house in Cairo, only now it's gold instead of silver.
Do you guys remember a suit of armor in a flashback to a coffee house in Cairo?
Think about it. Can I say,
yeah.
And to me,
yeah,
this very much read as asking your mom if we can stop for Starjammers, and your mom saying, no, we have Starjammers at home. It is just...
It's not just the concept of the Starjammers. It's the sort of plot that the Starjammers would find themselves in.
Exactly. It's very clear that this is hand in hand with Dave Cockrum saying, I will not do a Starjammers comic. The Micronauts are like, why are you doing this to this strange entity? And he's like, because I like killing stuff, and blows the planet Darnell up with a snap of his fingers. Baron Karza and the bioship scan for any signs of life, but the only ones left are the Micronauts, because this new enemy chose them to survive. He reads their thoughts, unsurprising if you recognize the armor, and takes joy in their hatred and fear until he gets bored and he turns to the bioship. In panic, the bioship vows to return and takes off at warp speed through the space wall.
Oh no! Our second team up where something crosses some sort of space wall thing between realities.
This was the first half of the comic.
It was so boring, Pat.
But it's so steeped in lore, and I'll tell you, we're not following the Micronauts. We are not going to dig into or try to even theorize what any of that means.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that was. That sucked.
But finally,
okay,
we cut to Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Kurt Rupert.
Very cool bathing suit.
He's got a very nice bathing suit, and he's juggling 7 bowling pins with his hands and his feet.
And his tail.
Well,
fucking sick.
We can assume it's his tail, but we don't see his tail touch a bowling pin.
The X-Men are goofing off in the pool while the New Mutants are training in the Danger Room, and Kitty and Ileana are stuck in their room doing homework.
They call Danny Moonstar Spellbinder.
Huh. They're also calling Kitty Ariel.
This is the only time they ever call Danny Moonstar Spellbinder. Literally this issue. No other issue in the Marvel universe, in the Marvel canon, has she been called Spellbinder. And then pretty soon, within like the next year or so, a character named Spellbinder is debuted.
Oh boy. This is also the name Ariel and the costume that Kitty is wearing have only shown up in
God Loves, Man Kills.
Was that what it was? I couldn't remember if it was that or the Teen Titans crossover, but it was
might have been there too.
Something non-canon.
Yeah.
And now it's happening in a miniseries outside of the main canon. It's clearly the thing that Chris wanted to do but couldn't, or vice versa, the thing that Chris didn't want to do
or like
had to for a very short period of time.
Bill Mantlo is like 3 years behind in reading X-Men when he writes this.
Yeah, yes,
one of the
only
two.
Actually read the graphic novel. Kitty gets in trouble for thinking too loud about how she doesn't want to do homework.
Yeah.
I hate to keep interrupting us this early, but
we need to.
That's not how any of this works. It's not like Professor Xavier is clearly monitoring thoughts. He's like, oh, she's thinking too loud, but he's spent his whole life training himself to not hear the thoughts of people that are thinking too loud. He's
doing this on purpose,
listening in on them. He sends her an email to say like, hey, you shouldn't be thinking so loud. Here's more homework for you.
He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he's back in a wheelchair.
Why is this happening?
I guess this is taking place before he
But
started
Magma's
walking
here.
again. But Magma is here. Maybe it's in the brief window.
Yeah, like half an issue
in New Mutants. While Sunspot is doing his evaluation in the Danger Room, Professor X seems to explode, flinging the mutants out of the observation booth into the Danger Room. As they try and recover, Baron Karza appears.
No.
He's threatening to kill Xavier, and only the New Mutants stand in his way. Oh, also, he's like 9 inches tall. I did not realize this about the Micronauts, but when they come into the real world, they're still micro. They're actually sized. And somebody, I forget who, but somebody looks at him and is like, is that the toy Baron Karza? They also, in this reality, they also exist as toys.
Yeah, Cannonball is like, oh, my sister plays with this guy.
And then the Baron Karza is like, I am not a toy. I'm a terrifying spaceman. This is
Baron Karza.
exactly. It is so Buzz Lightyear coded.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. Sam smashes him into the wall. Karza, however, proves more resilient than expected and fires a blast from his nipples, knocking Cannonball to the ground. His hand projects from his wrist, choking Sunspot, and he fires a blast from his forehead, knocking Wolfsbane to the ground.
This is another guy who has every power.
Yes, he's got lasers. He's got hands that shoot out of his wrists.
Yes, and we'll see even more in a second.
Another very interesting power. Danny, who is called Spellbinder for some reason, projects Karza's greatest fear in front of him, and it's himself as the man he used to be. He realizes what's up, though, and does the same thing back at her, projecting the demon bear that killed her parents.
Again,
He's also psychic. At that moment, though, Storm bursts through the window of the observation room, frying him with her lightning bolts.
He goes, is this man protected by an army? That's really good.
Just took out his five cards.
And he's like, fucking Christ!
Nightcrawler rushes in to grab the unconscious Xavier, while Colossus fastball specials Wolverine into the fray. His claws cut through Karza's armor, which he previously thought impenetrable, and he flies into a rage. He fires his hand thing again at Wolverine, teleports across the room to blast Nightcrawler. Xavier wakes up as Kitty phases through the wall to see what's up. As Kitty phases through Karza, though, something weird happens. His mind transports into her body. Nightcrawler is suddenly in his uniform as the X-Men go to check on her, and Karza tries to figure out how he can turn this situation to his advantage.
Yeah, people just pop in and out of their uniforms at will in this story.
But before any of this can be sorted out, the bioship appears. It shows up.
It's here. It's here now.
It's here now.
It was just they left together, but they arrived a few seconds apart.
Much more diplomatic than his erstwhile ally, he pleads for the X-Men to stop fighting. I guess Karza then changes into Kitty's aerial outfit.
How did he know?
Convenient.
He went upstairs and he was like, I guess I'll wear this. Oh, it was the right one.
Storm notices Kitty is acting strange. Karza notes that Kitty is still unconscious in his body, so he's using his powers to animate it and allow the X-Men to think he's still himself.
Are you guys getting this? So they switched bodies, but Kitty's unconscious in his body, so he's using his unlimited amount of powers to make his body move and talk as if...
While his consciousness is inside Kitty's body.
He's puppeting it with super ventriloquism and telekinesis.
They explain, Karza and Bioship, that the entity which is destroying the Microverse was deriving its power from beyond the space wall, and the trail led directly to Xavier. The X-Men agree to go to the Microverse and help, and Bioship shrinks them to toy size. As they say goodbye, though, Lockheed attacks Kitty, sparking more suspicion in the X-Men. Xavier stays behind, and they disappear into the Microverse. To be continued.
Hey, why does Nightcrawler... Okay, so Nightcrawler goes into the... the X-Men arrive in the danger room. Nightcrawler sees Professor Xavier, a fully grown man, and 5 children unconscious on the ground. And he's like, let me save Professor Xavier. None of the children. Let me leave the children here, and I'll save this grown man.
Well,
he doesn't know them very well, I guess.
I guess, yeah. They haven't been kind to him at this point. So
very heroic, Kurt.
Oh boy.
Also, very funny to see Colossus fastball special Wolverine at a toy on the ground.
Hey, it works. I love how overconfident Baron Karza is when he first comes in and then soundly gets defeated by the X-Men. It would be a good moment if it wasn't a Micronauts thing.
If it wasn't written so poorly. Pat.
Oh boy, yes.
I'm ready if you're ready for me to just tell you about X-Men and the Micronauts number 2.
I guess we got to get through this somehow.
Into the Abyss. Written by Bill Mantlo and Chris Claremont. Penciler Butch Guice.
Guice is how you say it?
What did you say? Gucci or something? Guici? I think it might be either Guice or Goose. Like juice.
I guess it is spelled juice with a G.
I think it might be Guice. Bob Wyachek and Kelly Jones are the inkers. Michael Higgins is the letterer. Juliana Ferriter is the colorist. Bob Budiansky is the editor. And Jimbo Schutte is the editor-in-chief. Release date, November 1st, 1983. Cover date, February 1984. The Micronauts find themselves on a craggy alien world, which apparently, like all nightmares... Okay, parse this for me, Pat.
Yeah.
Like all nightmares, it can hold no terror, save for those who are trapped within it. It can hold no terror.
Right.
Save for those.
So except for.
So it can't be scary, and it can only be scary to the people who are inside it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you're having trouble visualizing this, picture the Brood world. And you're there. It's just that.
But boringer also. But boring, like less drawn. Not that Butch Guice is a bad penciler, just that like there's just not a lot of detail there's not a lot of imagination in this. So
yeah.
They find themselves on a craggy alien world, wondering if this is some sort of purgatory. As the narrator explains, they're trapped in a nightmare realm. The only way out, they arbitrarily determine, is to go deeper into the abyss.
Yeah, there's some sort of big dark portal under them. And they're like, well, if we're here, the only way out must be to jump into that big portal.
When they do so, they're immediately surrounded by hundreds of little muscular green, quote, weirdlings that overtake and separate them.
I love a green little freak.
Oh boy. So Bug falls first, stumbling as the weirdlings chase him, and the slimy ground forms a cocoon around him. When he emerges, he is fully transformed into a six-legged insect, unable to do anything but skitter around. Next is Fireflight, whose song powers protect her until the weirdlings remove the atmosphere around her, silencing her song and rendering her helpless. Acro Year is... I'm not going to read this whole paragraph. He's fighting weirdlings, and then he has a big thing about his wife. The end. Pat
he dives off the cliff in shame
he lovingly describes what's written here, but God, I'm so bored. Huntar, the living weapon, prepares to fight the weirdlings that surround him, but I still can't say Acroyer. It comes out Acroyer every time But his fellow freaks, the weirdlings, accept him instead. That drives him to the point of madness. Marionette wanders into an empty stadium only to be forced to do a seductive dance. It's got to be seductive, doesn't it? At center stage, as the arena fills with onlookers, she discovers she's truly a puppet. Commander Arcturus Ran is shown the rest of his teams in shallow graves, and that's pretty much all it takes to break him. Suddenly, all at their lowest point and begging for relief, the Micronauts find themselves writhing on the floor in front of the entity who offers them benevolent relief from this nightmare. They agree to serve him with their full hearts and minds in exchange for his healing. God damn it. It's like, here's what I imagine. It's either Bill Mantlo being completely unimaginative, or it's Chris Claremont being like, sorry, I didn't read the Micronauts. And being like, okay, what's Bug's biggest fear? I don't know. He becomes a real bug. What's the ugliest guy's biggest fear? Oh, that he's really ugly. What's the singing girl? Oh, she can't sing. The marionette, she becomes
actually a puppet.
She becomes a marionette. And the commander, he fails at commanding. Done. Print it. I'm done. No, I will not be doing rewrites on this. It's the most base level fucking understanding of these characters. But then again, I have not followed the Micronauts. Maybe they literally are that basic.
And they just cave. They're just like, oh man, things really suck. I might as well just give in to this cult leader that's inviting me, that's telling me he'll heal me.
Oh, I've always been afraid of being a bug. I'll just be a slave. Oh, God. The entity starts conditioning them all, only to be interrupted briefly when we see Xavier back in the Macroverse. Disturbed from a nap, he's been real sleepy.
He loves sleeping, this guy.
By the New Mutants running around half nude.
So maybe this is the point where we mention that every woman in this comic is, if they're in a swimming situation, in a bikini. If they're not in a swimming situation, casually hanging out in their underwear.
Yes.
Every single woman in this comic.
Yes. And like, again, Marionette has to dance seductively.
Right.
Yeah. You see Danny Moonstar, she's in her underwear. Like, it's just nonstop.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think there is a character, a female character in this story who we don't see in a state of undress. Maybe Marionette, but even Marionette has to do a sexy dance.
Yeah, and she's also in like it's a Playboy bunny outfit the entire comic.
Xavier falls back asleep, and the entity continues his work in the Microverse, revealing the Micronauts fully under his control and wearing the original X uniforms.
This was a cool frame,
like a reveal.
I'll give them this frame where Xavier sits surrounded by a bunch of freaks dressed as the X-Men.
It'd have been better if there weren't so many words.
Yeah, true. Most of it is blocked by narration.
It's so many words, and you can just assume that for the rest of this comic, like anything that we're saying is, there are 600 words on each page.
Yeah, yeah. Anything we say is a briefer version of how they explained it.
No
matter how long it goes.
Orders of magnitude, by like multiples of 20. So, elsewhere in the Microverse, the X-Men and Baron Karza breach the space wall, and they start forming a plan. They call Karza out on his being pure evil, but with some help from him secretly controlling Kitty's body, agree that they need to work with him for now. The X-Men will try to find and fight the entity, while Karza returns home to raise an army to fight with them. Karza, as Kitty, tries to stay behind with the excuse that she's scared, raising everyone's suspicions. Storm is like, you fought the Brood and the Hellfire Club.
What are you talking about? You're
Dark...
not scared. You're coming with us.
Shut up. Kitty stays with her team as they head off to battle.
I also want to mention this entire time, Wolverine is just blasting cigs. He is chain smoking through the entire meeting. It's not subtle. Like there's smoke filling up the frame as he drags from it.
Back on his homeworld, the body of Karza is teleported back, but with Kitty's consciousness trapped inside. She can't... This is so fucking funny. She can't move or talk, which degrade
his
a twisted minister of science immediately takes note of and tries to kill him. This fucking guy is like, oh, hey, Karza. Karza? Oh, finally! Like, it's fucking 4 seconds. Finally, my dream has come true. I said Karza to him and he didn't answer. Therefore, he must be inert and my dreams have come true and I will finally be able to overthrow him and take over the universe. And then Karza's like...
He leaps right into it.
Karza's like, you revealed yourself. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Because Karza's astral form appears to chide him for his traitorous ambitions, though. It scares him into not trying to kill his inert body. Like,
hey, when you hire evil, you're going to get what you pay for. You're not getting the best, you're getting the evilest.
He says one sentence. He's like, you're not answering? You must be a... you must be a husk of armor in which I can just kill and overthrow. Anyway, all the while, the X-Men arrive at what they sense as the location of the entity. A miniature version of the X-Mansion that the X-Men are miniature in scale to.
So, there's still miniature X-Men. They start creeping around the mansion and they are like...
It's Honey, I Shrunk the X-Men.
Changes back and forth, but yeah, their blades of grass are towering over them. Their heads don't rise above the electrical outlets on the wall.
Right. But like you're saying, it changes because like a blade of grass is much smaller than where the electrical outlet is.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like a Warhammer miniature, and sometimes they are
like an action figure.
6-inch action figure.
Yeah. They venture in cautiously, noting that everything is identical to the mansion, even to Wolverine's senses, except for a looming feeling of evil everywhere. Ooh. Just as they ponder this, though, they come face to face with Professor Xavier, introducing the Micronauts in X-Men uniforms as their replacements. What's worse, now the X-Men are tiny and the Micronauts are big.
Oh, no.
A fight ensues, but the tiny X-Men are no match for the giant Micronauts and are all rendered unconscious.
Now, I have a problem with this.
Yeah?
Because they specifically mention that the mutants' powers, like the X-Men's powers, are generally ineffective here.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. Like, if you're Storm and you can shoot a lightning bolt...
That's not size dependent.
Even if it is, it's still gonna hurt. You're gonna get a shock out of it. Or they specifically say like Wolverine's claws are made of adamantium, the strongest metal ever known. But even at this size, they're not able to do any damage. That's not true.
That's not true.
You ever gotten stabbed with a thumbtack?
It could cut through your muscles.
That shit hurts.
Yeah. Professor Xavier takes on the mini mutants in his hand as his visage slowly transforms from Xavier's to that of the entity, promising to break and control them in the same way he did the Micronauts. As this happens, unbeknownst to the entity, Baron Karza's scream echoes throughout his homeworld. His body is free once again. He keeps... Okay, so twice now the entity is referred to his enemies as toys.
Yeah.
That is the plot of this. Like, I want to be clear. That's the plot of this comic is, okay, the Micronauts are toys. What if the villain just plays with toys for the whole comic?
Yes. And the fact that they even acknowledge these characters as toys that exist in that universe, as like the living version of those toys, it's not subtle.
No, it's
also just not a good idea.
It's like, what if you had a character, what if you had a villain that treats the toys and the X-Men both like toys, and he smashes them together like a person might do with toys? Like, that's the plot.
And we've maybe not complained, but commented before that, like, oh, this feels like someone just playing with action figures. That's never have we seen it to this degree of someone just smashing two characters together
and saying, these are toys.
literally smashing two of your toys together and having them do a brain swap. That's like,
yeah, ridiculous. All right, Pat.
Yeah, let's push through.
Tell me about Micronauts, X-Men and the Micronauts #3.
I will tell you about the X-Men and Micronauts #3. Mine eyes have seen the gory.
Oh, I guess you like this issue a whole lot, huh?
No. That's not me making a joke. That's the actual title.
It's okay, Pat. It's okay, Pat. You're allowed to like things. Audience, I guess Pat just really likes this issue, and he's right. It is kind of gory.
Mine eyes have seen the gory. Chris Claremont and Bill Mantlo, writers. Butch Griechi, penciler.
Oof.
Bob Wyacek, inker. Joe Rosen, letterer. Juliana Ferreter, colorist. Bob Budansky, editor. And Jim Dumb, shut the fuck up, you stupid fuck, editor-in-chief. Release date, November 29th, 1983. Cover date, March 1984. Professor Xavier tosses and turns in his sleep as he receives images of what's happening in the Microverse. The Micronauts and the X-Men are both under the entity's thrall, and they're going on a killing spree throughout Baron Karza's empire. When they capture an outpost called the Kennel, some of their innate heroism comes through as they resist killing their captives. He punishes them by killing and resurrecting Arcturus Ron and refusing to let the bloodthirsty Kitty Pryde slay the captives. He does it himself instead, telling everyone that conquest isn't his goal. Death is. But he leaves the archivist alive because the archivist transmits images back to Baron Karza, and the entity wants Karza to watch as he blows up the whole outpost.
Holy shit, dude. Kitty Pryde killing people is fucked up. So
this is nuts.
She just she grabs people, she phases them into walls, and then she backs up smiling as they scream. As what we talked about before, as they fuse, as their flesh fuses into
but a wall or whatever.
Also, we should note here that she's very capably phasing through walls, grabbing people. And remember how long it took Kitty Pryde to learn how to phase other people or objects she was touching? And she's doing it handily here with absolutely no effort. Yeah.
On Earth, the New Mutants become concerned about Xavier's thrashing and seeming inability to wake up, but they decide to let him sleep a little longer and see what happens.
Oh, but then there's tears coming from his eyes.
Uh-oh. Watching the destruction, Baron Karza asks his chief scientist, Degrade, to scan for survivors. Degrade balks, suggesting that they can just make more dog soldiers by sending conquered people into the body banks. But Karza responds...
the body banks.
But Karza responds by demanding they be closed.
Huh?
He will no longer slaughter his subjects.
Huh?
Why is he doing this? We find out when he walks off alone that it's because he's Kitty Pryde.
Oh, yeah!
She's trapped in his body, pretending to be him and accidentally turning him into a rocket-powered centaur as she tests his powers.
Oh, yeah.
It's another one of his powers. He can turn into
a rocket-powered centaur. And she's like, what? Why?
Kitty is commanding a full-on war. She is she's sitting in the commander's chair, giving orders, and doing it in a way that is minimizing casualties where she can.
Yeah. Her improv skills really good.
Her consciousness is waging war. There are thousands of people dying here because of this. But at the same time, she's doing it pretty effectively. We see Kitty is capable of making the decisions a general needs to make that can result in the deaths of thousands of people. But also that she can do it very capably. What a revelation.
Oh, boy.
Conversely, Baron Karza wakes up in the body of Kitty Pryde. She's in a bikini in some lavish room awaiting a special reward. Ugh. She's more changing teenagers' clothing as they sleep.
Yeah. I mean, the entity is about to walk in, and he's wearing like a robe to suggest like how creepy and sexual he's treating the situation. But he's also wearing full body armor. So like, why the robe? The robe doesn't make any sense here.
Over the armor.
Yeah.
The entity comes in and creeps on her really hard until we cut to the cells below where the X-Men and Micronauts are waking up. Wolverine thinks about how this guy seems familiar and has complete control over them whenever he wants it. He won't let himself or his friends go through this, so he raises his claws to slaughter an unconscious Storm, but Colossus grabs his hand. Colossus reasons that the entity's real goal is to destroy all hope, so acting hopeless means he wins.
What if what if Storm died here? What if this was the death of Aurora Monroe? Like, oh yeah, she died, her character died forever in the Micronauts miniseries, murdered by Wolverine. Go read it.
Plus, he showed with Arcturus Ran earlier that the entity can just bring people right back to life. This inspires everyone to finally decide to try and escape.
Ooh, how inspiring.
Back on Earth, Danny Moonstar is caring for the feverish, unconscious Xavier when he uses her body momentarily to help him jump into his astral form. He couldn't escape his own body, but by touching hers, he could take over her mind and escape. Something like that.
Something like, yeah, there's a whatever. It doesn't, who cares? Who cares? Honestly.
His astral form goes looking for the source of the entity's power when the entity notices his escape and goes chasing after him. As they confront each other on the astral plane, Karza in Kitty's body escapes from under his creepily looming body and stabs him with a knife. The shock allows Xavier to capture the astral entity and unmask him, revealing himself.
Ew, dude, ew.
Oh no!
He reveals himself to that. He reveals himself to the entity. Why did he do this? Ew, Pat.
No, the entity under the helmet is also Charles Xavier.
Oh, okay.
If you hadn't figured that out by every time he naps, the entity gains power.
Or that he's wearing the exact armor that Professor X was wearing.
Yes.
When he fought the Shadow King back in Cairo.
This was your subtle hint.
Yeah.
The entity is the dark, shadowy part of Xavier, which grew in the Microverse somehow whenever Xavier slept and then made Xavier sleep more and more so he could grow stronger and stronger. Right? So this is Xavier, just all the mean thoughts that he pushed aside manifested themselves.
You mean like when Bill Mantlo wrote a fill-in issue for the X-Men way back in like issue 97 or something?
Yes, very similar to that. This is not that same evil Xavier. This is a different evil Xavier.
Well, how do we know that?
Because that one was drug fueled. This one.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end, but I don't believe they're separate.
I don't think this. I believe they are, but
I don't believe they are, but
right. But I believe they are. So
I don't believe they are. So
right, and I believe they.
But I don't believe.
I forget which side I'm arguing. So I guess the entity wins.
There's
in the
really
Microverse.
No explaining why. It's just like, oh, and haha, now like as soon as he reveals himself, it's like, and you lose. Like,
Yeah, it's the shock, I guess. In the Microverse, Karza in Kitty's body is like, now that I beat the entity, I don't need the Micronauts or the X-Men, and I have to kill them. The X-Men and the Micronauts are escaping and having little dramatic talks as they do, and we pull back to see them in the crosshairs of a big gun. Kitty Karza's big gun. On Earth, Danny Moonstar sends the rest of the New Mutants to bed, looking all shady-like as we see that Professor Xavier's Earth body has been taken over by the entity. To be concluded. Ooh. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. This
nope,
was
sucks.
maybe the worst of the series.
Well, I'll say is most boring of the series. I think number 4 is the worst of the series.
Oh,
and
yeah, sure. The worst so far.
God, we have to tell you guys, this is where the trigger warning happens.
We're going to try not to talk about it for more than, let's say, 5 minutes. So if you want to skip ahead, we'll make sure it works editing wise, that if you want to skip ahead 5 minutes, if you don't want to hear about, again, sexual assault, emotional manipulation, grooming, things around that.
But okay.
Yeah.
It's time to start the X-Men and the Micronauts number 4, Doppelganger. Chris Claremont and Bill Mantlo. Story Butch Guice. Actually, I just looked it up. It's Butch Guice.
Oh, we were both wrong, but it's a good compromise of our two approaches.
Bob Wyacek inks. Rick Parker letters. Juliana Ferreter did colors. Bob Budiansky was the editor, and is the editor-in-chief. Release date, January 3rd, 1984. Cover date, April 4th, 1984.
Ooh.
All right. Okay, we don't need to spend too much time describing this. It's disgusting, but it happens. Danny Moonstar is asleep at her desk, in her underwear, and evil Xavier creeps up behind her. He starts telepathically stimulating Danny sexually.
Yeah.
Which she initially fights against, but then she collapses to the ground in orgasm. She rises up and pledges herself to evil Xavier, and he promises to continue rewarding her with sexual pleasure while the narrator makes it clear she's not in control of her body. Fuck off.
It is honestly,
yeah.
I did not want to read the rest of this after that. I was like, there is no direction this story that could go that make it worth reading through this fucking scumbag shit.
She's a child, for fuck's sake.
And also, it is without her consent in any way. It's very clear that, like, she is succumbing to the influence of evil. She initially tries to fight it off. Like, it is not something that she is asking for in any way until she's no longer in control of her own consciousness.
And this is her like father figure, her mentor, her teacher. This is a man who has shown a predilection in the past for being fucking attracted to teenagers. Like, I know this is his evil version, but I do have to talk about this. And I did read a little bit about this. Somebody like outlining all the different times that this has kind of happened is that Professor Xavier has been fighting this demon in his head forever, right? Like, he was attracted to Jean Grey. He's talked about sexiness relating to other young girls multiple fucking times. And this is a part of himself, right? They make it clear this isn't just an evil person who looks like Charles Xavier. This is a part of his brain. And here it is. And look, there's something to be said about a person who has evil thoughts or evil urges and controls them. But this has been at the fucking surface of his mind for the entirety of the time we've been reading the X-Men. So even if we don't want to pin this on Professor Xavier the character, we have to pin this on the writers who have been doing this with Professor Xavier since the beginning.
I mean, I think that's where we focus our rage here, because this isn't even treated as if it's a violation. It is treated like it's a legitimate way to convince somebody to come to your side, right? They do this to a child. They do it very knowingly because they draw her in her underwear. She's asleep at her desk wearing a sweater and panties, and that is it.
Yeah.
It's also just the easiest knee-jerk thing to do, to say, like, their victimhood, the decisions that they make, it's all just generated out of their sexuality, their repressed sexuality. And it's like, it's at this point, it's a very common trope. It's not like this is a product of the past. It's lazy writing, and it also just follows that idea that women are defined by their trauma and their sexual activity and the combination of the two.
Right. And almost like that the moment that a man is freed from his inhibitions, he's going to do the worst possible things to any woman nearby him, whether a fucking child or not.
Right. There's this sort of, this is just what men do.
Yeah. And I want to remind everybody the Gabrielle Haller thing, right? Like, I don't want to seem like that whole diatribe I went off on was just out of nowhere. Like, it sucks. It's a real bummer. And I'm sorry that you had to hear about it.
Yeah. Again, really tough to conclude the story here. We're gonna do it because that's the rest of it doesn't touch on this. This doesn't come back up. So,
which also fucking sucks that it doesn't. Yeah. But we'll talk about it at the same time. I mean, we're gonna touch on it a little bit towards the end of this issue when we talk about how it doesn't come back up and how they wrap things up, but not in any explicit detail.
But let's move forward.
Okay. Back in the Microverse. Fucking Christ. Kitty fires a laser at the X-Men Micronauts team and welcome back if you skipped ahead.
Yeah.
Back in the Microverse, Kitty fires a laser at the X-Men Micronauts team from a sniper position, which Colossus heroically jumps in front of. Kurt immediately teleports up to the sniper's nest and punches Kitty square in the face.
Very good panel. Just Kurt popping in and socking her one.
Punching Kitty right in her fucking face. It's something I didn't know I wanted to see. He's shocked to see that the shooter is Kitty, though, and she phases away and curses him as he hesitates. Meanwhile, Kitty's consciousness is commanding an all-out assault on the entity's planet through the body of Baron Karza. Degrade notices an uncharacteristic empathy in Karza's approach to this battle, and when Kitty commands him to stop the assault on the planet so she, as Karza, can teleport in and save the X-Men, Degrade takes advantage. He forgets to end the assault on the planet.
Dastardly.
Down on the planet, in the entity's chambers, Kitty as Karza finds Karza as Kitty and demands her body back. But the X-Men and Micronauts burst in at that moment to find Karza assaulting Kitty, but that's immediately resolved when Xavier, in the entity's body, now he's in the entity's body, psychically explains that it's actually Kitty in Karza's body and vice versa.
Keeping up? Are we all keeping up?
Also remember that Karza as Kitty stabbed the entity's body, so Xavier is stabbed now.
Yeah, Xavier in the entity's body is a stab wound.
So, okay. Back on Earth, evil Xavier has dug Cerebro out of the basement and wants to test its power. He turns the...
You remember Cerebro?
Remember Cerebro? Did it ever have this helmet before this issue?
Not a helmet this complex, no.
Yeah.
Or chunky. It's a chunky helmet.
He turns the dials all the way up and tries his hand at destroying the Microverse, one planet at a time. The X-Men and the Micronauts find the planet they're on being ripped apart, but that's actually still Karza's forces being commanded by Degrade. A different assault, though, suddenly breaches the space wall and starts depleting the Enigma Force, using that energy to blow up Baron Karza's homeworld and army, vaporizing Degrade in the process. Degrade's dead.
Of course. Degrade is dead.
The same none of this matters. Micronauts literally lasts 2 issues after this.
Matt, you have to keep reading. This is important.
After this series, there's 2 more issues, and then the Micronauts are gone forever. The same destructive force starts aiming for the X-Men and Micronauts, but since the space ball is a barrier created by the mighty time travels using the Enigma Force to separate the macro and microverses, the Firefly can actually sing the bioship they're all on through the space wall. This, of course, has a devastating effect on her and bioship, taking them out of commission once they land back on Earth in miniature form on the lawn of the X-Mansion.
Everyone following along?
The teams discuss their damages and the plan to stop the entity, But mid-discussion, they're rocketed into action when a possessed Sam rockets right into the bioship. The rest of the New Mutants follow, beating the shit out of Bioship until the miniature X-Men and Micronauts pop out and starts beating the shit out of them. Lava from one of Magma's attacks starts flowing towards the Bioship as miniature Kurt tries his best to keep miniature Xavier in the entity's body out of harm's way. Once again, fuck these kids. I have to save this old man.
Yeah.
Xavier explains that he needs Kurt to help keep him alive just long enough to breach his own mind and make sure the battle continues to rage, enough to keep the entity destroyed. I don't even care about the X-Men stuff at this point. It's so boring.
This is bad.
Xavier then takes astral form, sneaks through the mansion, and finds and enters his own brain. The battle rages on out. Yeah.
Xavier takes a moment while so he can walk in astral form, which has been true since the 60s.
Yeah.
Bill Mantlo, I'm sure this was Bill Mantlo,
because
takes
he
a moment to have Xavier comment on the fact that he is seeing the mansion from an angle he wishes he could always see, but he's confined to a wheelchair, which is his greatest shame.
Which, is a shame and makes his life miserable. Or fucking, because Bill Mantlo hates people with disabilities, and he makes sure we know that in every issue. Like literally almost every issue, every time Bill Mantlo's been on this, like a Bill Mantlo story has been on this podcast, there is something about how disabled people with disabilities are shameful or miserable or less than.
Right.
The battle rages on outside as evil Xavier observes psychically. Through the appearance of Lockheed, he figures out that Kitty and Karza have switched bodies and focuses his energy on having them fight each other. On Earth, he can't yet destroy things with his mind like he could in the Microverse, but this should at least take them off the board. He eventually forces Kitty to phase into Karza, assuming it will kill both of them. But instead, it just returns them to their own bodies. Problem solved. And Karza's constantly like, not only, okay, first of all, Karza puts Kitty in like a really cool outfit, like her coolest outfit yet. It's like,
yes,
it's like gray and magenta. It fucking rules.
It's true. Yeah, it's just Karza's colors on Kitty's outfit.
Yeah, it's great though. But he also keeps complaining about how he can't use Kitty's powers. He's like, I can't phase. I don't know how to use any of these powers. But like, yes, you. We
just
watched,
2 issues ago.
Yeah, we watched you do it to kill me.
Phasing adeptly.
All right, where was I in this stupid fucking recap? Not your recap isn't stupid. This fucking comic is stupid. At that moment, though, evil Xavier senses the presence in his mind just as the lava starts to overtake the bioship, and Kurt is forced to teleport the entity's body, accelerating its impending death.
Oh, no.
Xavier and evil Xavier meet in psychic combat, reminiscent of his psychic battle with Amal Farouk. Except this time, Xavier has a new move. He explains to the entity that he's ruptured a blood vessel in his own brain, causing a massive hemorrhage, which means this body will soon die, taking both of their consciousnesses with it. Suddenly, the entity's body dematerializes in Kurt's arm, and the New Mutants wake from their possession.
The entity's body just disappears. Kurt is like, we've gotten Himmel. There's no explanation.
There's no explanation. It's the same as like when he won, evil Xavier won the battle earlier. There's just no explanation. They just say, yeah, I won.
Yep.
And whoever says I won first.
Also, why does he disappear? Why isn't he just dead?
I don't know. Xavier explains he's back to normal now, as he was lying about the stroke, knowing that the entity knew he had the resolve to actually do it. What? The entity then teleported himself back into his original miniature body, which died from the strain. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Bioship generously sacrifices himself to return the X-Men to normal size, and Fireflight sings the Micronauts back to the Microverse, where Karza, back in his own body, seems to have teleported himself back too. Xavier wishes there was some way to atone for the millions of microversal lives he destroyed as the Entity, but figures this was a tough fight, which is atonement enough in itself. The end.
That's it.
Even Danny, who for some reason is in an outfit we've never seen her in, by the way, is like, whew, I'm glad it's over. And he gives this... Okay, this is why I think the evil entity Xavier is the same as the old evil entity Xavier.
Okay.
In the first time it came around, it was because he was like on drugs or whatever that caused him to lower his psychic defenses, he told us. And the evil entity was able to take over. Once again, this is because he's sleeping the evil entity, which I guess was still alive from way back then, and just living in the Microverse, was gaining power every time he was asleep. But the biggest reason I think it's the same is because he gives the exact same fucking speech at the end of this issue as he did at the end of that issue, where he's like, well, the conflict of good and evil is always hard, and there's evil that exists within all of us, and this is the price we pay for being human.
You're right.
He gave the exact same speech when he was Green Xavier, who made the original X-Men come fight the new X-Men.
That is just normal Xavier saying that. Like, this would be his go-to story anytime he turns evil.
I would say I would agree with you if it wasn't written by the same fucking writer.
What a shitty way to end it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, our victory happens off panel. We just have to listen to Xavier say that he defeated the entity.
Mm-hmm.
A dead character is brought back to life. The bioship is essentially already dead. We wrote him off for dead.
Yeah.
But he has enough juice left to sacrifice himself just to make the X-Men normal size again. They didn't want to be action figure sized anymore. not a life or death issue. And then finally, Xavier takes absolutely no accountability for any of this. He says, I wish I could atone, but I just committed so many atrocities, it wouldn't be possible for me to atone for this. Let's move past
it. So, yes, I mean, you're absolutely, no arguments here. You are absolutely 100% right. I will say Bioship is dead. They do create a second bioship in Micronauts 58. Remember, that's the next issue of Micronauts after this one. And then the series ends in Micronauts 59.
Until they come back a year later for another brief run.
Oh my God. Is this the worst comic we've read?
Yes. Yeah. Without a doubt, between the overcomplicated but boring lore, the several problematic moments, including one that is just unbelievable, and
the fact that they don't address it. Danny, who is and we won't get specific here, is the victim of the assault, is just like, whew, glad that's over.
Yeah.
And it's never addressed again in the history of the X-Men. It's just, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Matt, because this isn't canon. Again, we're going to move forward as if this never happened. You can remove this story, and because the Marvel license for Micronauts lapsed, you don't have to worry about ever acknowledging it again.
Yeah.
And again, that's not taking Bill Mantlo, Chris Claremont, or what was the shitty artist's name?
I don't think the art was that bad. Butch
Guici. Not taking any of them off the hook. They did this, and it fucking sucks that they did. And I never want to read a Bill Mantlo story again. Please. We're
gonna have to read a few. You won't get more mad at him than this. This is the most mad you will get at Bill Mantlo, but you will continue to be mad at him as you see what he does to Puck and North Star and Aurora and Shaman and Sasquatch and Heather Hudson.
Okay.
I don't think he does anything that bad to No, never mind. It's every member. It's every member. Sorry. I thought that there was like one member he didn't fuck up.
Anyway, I there's so many things that I hate about this that I was already pretty clear about. The one that I haven't, I guess, complained enough about yet is that this is not like, these are your two best-selling titles, and there is no attempt to bring Micronauts readers into the X-Men universe or bring X-Men readers into the Micronauts universe. This was written for folks that are already fans of two. It required you to understand not just the characters of each team, but also the personalities of each member of the team and the relationships between those members and how they play off of each other. Like, you had to have a full working knowledge of each team in order to start reading this comic, in order to get through the first 10 pages of the first issue. It was not well thought out. It was clearly a marketing ploy that they didn't actually try to do any marketing with.
Mm-hmm. And failed. You know, the sales for the Micronauts were on the decline at this moment, and this
killed them.
Yeah, this killed it, and good. It deserved it. God. If Micronauts is twice as good as what we just read, it didn't deserve to exist. Right? Like. Also, it's just so fucking funny that Bill Mantlo, it's like they come to him, they're like, all right, Pat, you be the Marvel execs, and I'll be Bill Mantlo, and you come to me with you come to me saying that you need X-Men fill-ins or X-Men crossovers or whatever, and you just keep
Hey, Bill, we need you to fill in on X-Men for one issue.
Okay.
You have any ideas for
no problem,
one issue of the X-Men?
I got an idea for a bit. If I got an idea, it's how about what if Professor Xavier's evil? Done.
Oh. Okay. Sounds great. Very original. Okay. Bill, we're gonna have the X-Men appear in your book that you're writing. Do you
how about Xavier is there, but he's actually evil?
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, brilliant idea.
That's what I'm going to do.
Very original.
That's what I'm
Sounds
do,
great.
And people
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Bill. I would love to do a crossover with you and the X-Men.
Evil Xavier!
Okay, approved. Sounds like an original idea.
Okay, good. This is all Bill Mantlo has for us.
Oh, bad stuff.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Matt's
Hey, everybody, it's time for Matt's Deals and Steals.
What is happening?
Well, Pat, I know you spent your vast fortune on when we started doing this podcast, rather. You went and you spent your vast fortune on every issue of the X-Men and its ancillary titles that you could.
Of course.
And by the time that happened, a bunch of freaking vandals ran around cutting all the ads out of every comic book. And then I think photocopying the other sides of the ads and pasting them back in so that you could still read the comics. But I bought these.
And then they mailed those ads that they clipped to you?
Well, yeah, actually. What? Actually, yes, they sent all the ads to me, and I've been lying to you this whole time because I didn't want to be. And they didn't even need to because I bought these 4 issues well before that trend had occurred, and I already have.
Oh, that's incredible. Look at your original Micronauts printings.
Yeah. They're my most prized possession.
Aren't you glad you spent money on this?
So, this ad in particular, let me read to you, Pat.
Yeah. I'm listening.
First, I want to ask you a question right up at the top here.
Yeah.
Girl troubles?
No.
Yeah. Is inexperience or a lack of car making girls seem unapproachable?
No.
Shyness or confused feelings can be overcome, Patrick.
I know.
Proven methods, sound advice for meeting and keeping girlfriends. Book has money back guarantee. You will get girlfriends.
Oh, no.
Don't sit and wish. Send your address and 25 cents to. And then there's an address here.
25 cents?
Yeah, for 25 cents, you will get girlfriends, Pat. Shyness or confused feelings can be overcome. Proven methods, sound advice for meeting and keeping girlfriends.
Can you... Okay.
Yeah. It's the Golden Institute in Palm Bay, Florida.
What I'm focusing on here is the money back guarantee. Book has money back guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
You will get girlfriends.
Yeah, if you don't get girlfriends, money back guarantee.
Your 25 cents.
You'll get your 25 cents back if you don't get girlfriends. But the problem is trying to prove you don't have girlfriends.
It's
because
exactly
they'll mail you. You'll mail them, hey, I didn't get girlfriends. And they'll mail back, you did get girlfriends. And then you say, I didn't get girlfriends. And they'll be like, prove you didn't get girlfriends. And then you get several letters from girls around you saying, we're not his girlfriends.
And that's devastating in itself.
Yeah, so that you don't even want to do that. But if you manage to do that, you send them and they say, okay, those aren't girlfriends, but you have girlfriends.
Right.
What are you going to do?
2 billion women in the world.
You got to get a letter from your mom and dad saying he has no girlfriends. They send investigator all the way from Palm Bay, Florida to wherever you live to go to your school, get on loudspeaker. Hey, everybody, listen up. This is about Pat Reber. Does he have girlfriends? He says he has no girlfriends.
We've observed him. We know he's been reading the book about how to get a girlfriend.
And then at the end of the day, they will make an announcement. They'll say, he was right. He has no girlfriends. We'll give him his 25 cents back.
Let's hope it was worth it. Okay, I'm in.
All right, so 25 cents in today's money would be
this is going to come out to, I'm going to say 82 cents.
$77.99.
Ooh.
No, that's $25. That's $25. So 80 cents. Yep.
Perfect.
Would you buy this? Is this a deal, a steal, or do you want to get girlfriends?
I mean, I'm married happily. I have
this
no
guy's got
intention
no
of
girlfriends.
getting a
It sounds
girlfriend.
like,
but for 80 cents, that sounds like a pretty good deal for any book.
And Pat, if you don't get girlfriends, you get that 80 cents back.
Right, and I'm not going to because I'm married.
I don't know. You might.
I'm not even going to try.
Okay. Well, then, sounds like somebody's shyness or confused feelings cannot be overcome.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Pat Deals and Seals.
Fuck! I missed it.
I completely forgot. Well, that was bizarre.
What happened? I blacked out.
As always, what just happened?
What happened?
The last 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
welcome back, everybody. Let's give out some thank yous. Thank you to you, the person listening to this right now, for listening all the way to the end. And as we always ask you to do, please continue to like, to subscribe, to tell your friends, to join our Patreon.
Oh,
Please
join our
continue
Patreon.
joining our Patreon. We made some loose promises through this episode about what we'll do if you keep contributing.
If you get us up to $100 for at least one full cycle, we will drink Pilk. If you get us up to, what was it?
150, we'll drink Bilk.
And that doesn't have to be for a full cycle. That just we have to hit 150, and then we'll drink Buffalo.
I guess it would be Bepsi, but I like the term Bilk.
You're right, it would be Betsy. We both said it like it was so. I will not drink buffalo sauce and milk. You have to get up to $500 for 3 cycles. And
then we'll drink buffalo sauce and milk.
Yep.
Lots of weird foods, folks. If you have any ideas of your own, or mutantmenacepod@gmail.com, and we'll consider them.
Yeah. And for enough money, we'll eat pretty much fucking anything, guys. We are desperate.
Huge thanks. Follow us on Instagram @MutantMenacePod. Write in mutantmenacepod@gmail.com about anything you want, but especially to give us money.
Huge thanks to Krills Wilson for the music and Julia Selly for the voice of Trish Tilby. And Pat.
Yeah, I guess that's it, Matt. Only one thing left to do, right?
That's right. It's just say it's, the normal thing. Say the thing we say at the end of every episode. Yeah. Which, as everybody knows, I am no construct fool.
That's right, folks. As always, I've become a rocket-powered centaur.